If your husband or wife already collects the Guaranteed Income Supplement and you are somewhere between 60 and 64 years old, Service Canada may owe you up to $1,411 a month, a benefit called the allowance. And they will never phone your house to tell you. Stay with me all the way to number 6, because that is the one step almost everyone gets completely backwards, and it quietly shuts the money off. Number 1. Let's start with what this money actually is, because most Canadians have never heard the word. The allowance is part of the old age security system, but it pays people who are too young for their own old age security pension. Right now, for the April to June quarter of 2026, it pays up to $1,411.13 every single month, and it is completely tax-free. That number goes up again in July and October because it is adjusted every 3 months for the cost of living. It exists to bridge the gap between 60 and 65, when one spouse is already retired on benefits and the other one isn't old enough to get their own. Picture a woman named Susan, who is 62, whose husband Bill is 67, and already gets the supplement. If their income is low enough, she can collect close to $16,900 a year that the family was simply leaving on the table. Think about what that is. Over 5 years to age 65, that is more than $80,000, enough to clear a car loan, cover property tax, or stop draining an RRSP early. One couple I heard about only discovered the allowance at Susan's 64th birthday and missed 3 full years of it. Roughly $50,000 gone, because nobody at the bank or the pension office ever said the word. Contrast that with their neighbor, who applied at 60 on the dot and banked the full 5 years. The same benefit, a difference of $50,000, decided purely by who knew the word. The mistake people make is assuming you have to be 65 to get a nickel out of this system. You don't. 60 is the door. Number 2, and this is where the internet gets it wrong, so listen closely. You cannot get the allowance just because you are 60 and your spouse is retired. Your spouse has to actually receive the Guaranteed Income Supplement, not just the basic old age security pension. And the supplement only goes to lower income seniors. So if your partner is still pulling a full-time paycheck or has a healthy company pension, the two of you almost certainly earn too much. Your spouse is not on the supplement, and the allowance is off the table. I see people hear $1,400 and rush to apply while their spouse still earns $60,000 a year, and they get denied automatically. There was a man named Gerald, age 61, who filed 3 separate applications in 1 year, furious each time he was rejected, never realizing his wife's teacher's pension of $42,000 meant she had never qualified for the supplement in the first place. He wasted a year fighting the wrong battle, and the roughly $17,000 he chased was never his to claim. Before you do anything else, confirm one thing. Is your spouse genuinely receiving the Guaranteed Income Supplement, that extra top-up on top of regular old age security? You can check it on their My Service Canada account, or on the July benefit statement that lists OAS and GIS as 2 separate lines. If the answer is yes, keep going, because you are very likely eligible. If the answer is no, this benefit isn't yours yet, but the tax rule in number 6 can still change that next year. Number 3, the income line that decides everything. To receive the allowance, your combined household income has to be under $41,664 a year, based on the current quarter's figures. And here is the part that trips people up. Not every dollar counts the same way. Your Canada Pension Plan payments count. Money you pull out of an RRSP counts. Interest and investment income count. But your spouse's old age security and supplement are treated separately. And this is important. The first $5,000 of employment or self-employment income is fully exempt, with a partial exemption of 50% on the next $5,000 after that. So a little part-time work will not automatically wipe you out. Take Diane, who earned $9,000 stocking shelves and assumed it disqualified her. In reality, only $2,000 of that $9,000 counted against her. The first $5,000 was ignored entirely, and half of the next $4,000 was shaved off, and she stayed eligible for over $1,000 a month. She'd been too scared to claim, roughly $13,000 a year she nearly walked away from. The mistake I see constantly is someone assuming a small job at the grocery store disqualifies them, when in reality, that income is partly protected. The opposite error is just as costly. A single $60,000 RRSP withdrawal to redo a kitchen can blow you past the ceiling for a full year and cost you the whole allowance. That renovation quietly cost you $17,000 in lost benefit on top of the 60. Do not guess at your number. Add it up line by line off last year's tax return, and if you are anywhere near that $41,000 ceiling, apply and let Service Canada do the math. Now, quick reminder before we go on, number 6 is the step that silently stops this check even for people who qualified for years. Keep it in mind. Number 4. This money does not come find you. This is the whole reason the channel exists. In some cases, Service Canada will send you a letter a few months before your 60th birthday inviting you to apply. But in a huge number of cases, no letter ever arrives, and the benefit is simply never paid. Not because you were denied, but because you never asked. There is a specific application, Form ISP-3008, and you can send it in the month after you turn 59, up to about 6 to 11 months before you actually turn 60. So the money starts the moment you're eligible. Consider Robert, who turned 60 in March but waited until September for a letter that never came. Those 6 lost months cost him roughly $8,400 he could have banked, simply because he was waiting to be told. His brother, on the same pension, filed the form the month he turned 59 and had his first check land the week of his 60th birthday. Same family, same income, $8,000 apart. The mistake that costs people the most is sitting back and waiting for a letter that never comes. Every month you wait past your eligibility date is roughly $1,400 gone that you cannot fully get back. Do not wait to be invited. Download the form from the Canada.ca site or pick it up at any Service Canada office. Fill it in with your spouse's social insurance number and file it yourself the month you turn 59. Number 5. But what if you already turned 60 and nobody told you? Here is the good news, and it is worth real money. The allowance can be paid retroactively for up to 11 months from the date Service Canada receives your application. So if you have been eligible for the last 8 months and only just found out, applying now could trigger a back payment worth $11,200 or more in a single deposit. That is exactly what happened to Margaret, 62, who applied the week she learned about it and received a lump sum of just over $11,000, one deposit that covered nearly a year she'd already lived through, money she used to pay off a line of credit outright. But notice the limit, 11 months, not all the way back to your 60th birthday. If you have been sitting eligible for 2 years, you do not get 2 years back, you get 11 months, and the other 13 months, nearly $19,000, are gone permanently. That is exactly why waiting is so expensive. Every week you delay, the oldest month of what you're owed falls off the edge and disappears for good. If you think there is any chance you've been eligible, apply this week, not next month. Number 6. The step almost everyone gets backwards, and the one that quietly kills the payment. You have to file your income tax return every single year, even if you earned $0 and owe nothing. Here is why. The allowance is recalculated every July based on the income you reported on last year's tax return. If you don't file, Service Canada has no income to work with. So in July, your payment doesn't just shrink, it can stop entirely, even though you're still perfectly eligible. That is what happened to Frank. He had no income, skipped his return to keep things simple, and his $1,400 check went to zero that July. It took 2 months and a refiled return to switch it back on, and the 2 months of stopped payments, about $2,800, he never recovered. People think, I had no income, so there's nothing to file. That is exactly backwards. Filing a zero-income return, which costs nothing and takes 20 minutes at a free tax clinic, is what keeps the money flowing. And it matters again at 65. Your allowance converts into your own old age security and supplement automatically only if your taxes are up to date. Miss a return, and that smooth handoff breaks, leaving you to reapply from scratch with months of gaps. One man lost 4 months of his new pension, roughly $6,000, because a single unfiled return stalled the conversion. So the single most powerful thing you can do to protect this benefit costs nothing. File every year, on time, income or no income, and do it before the April 30th deadline, so the July recalculation has your numbers ready. So here is your one job this week. Find out whether your spouse actually receives the guaranteed income supplement. That is the master key that unlocks everything we just covered, and make sure both your tax returns are filed and current. If both boxes are checked and you're 60 to 64, Get Form ISP 3008 in the mail. If this could help you or someone in your family who's between 60 and 65, subscribe and share it with them today, because the people who find out in time are the ones who actually get paid.